What if cancer was curable in the Middle Ages? A world where humanity landed on the moon before the Renaissance. A world where computers weren't invented in the 20th century, but perfected in the heart of the Roman Empire. This isn't science fiction. This was a tangible possibility. A future that was meticulously catalogued, written down, and stored in one single building. A future that was stolen from us, not by fate, but by fire and ignorance. For centuries, we've mourned the loss of the Great Library of Alexandria as the loss of books. But we are wrong. We didn't just lose scrolls, we lost entire timelines. So let's travel back and change one single moment in history. Let's save the library and see what kind of world we would be living in today. 2. More than a library. Before we light the spark of our new timeline, we must understand what was truly at stake. The Library of Alexandria wasn't just a building with shelves. It was the world's first true university, a global magnet for the greatest minds on Earth. Founded by Ptolemy, a successor to Alexander the Great, its mission was audacious: to collect all of the world's knowledge. Ships docking in Alexandria's port were forced to surrender their books to be copied. Scribes worked day and night, translating texts from across the known world. We're talking about an estimated 500,000 scrolls. But what was in them? Not just poetry and history. We're talking about the lost plays of Sophocles, the complete works of Aristotle, and detailed astronomical charts that were centuries ahead of their time. We know that Eratosthenes, a librarian there, calculated the circumference of the Earth with astonishing accuracy, 2,000 years before satellites would confirm it. We know that Hero of Alexandria built a primitive steam engine, a vending machine, and automatic doors. These weren't just theories, they were functioning prototypes. The seeds of the Industrial Revolution were already planted, not in 18th century England, but in 1st century Egypt. The library was an intellectual singularity, a place where the combined knowledge of humanity was gathering critical mass, ready to explode into a new era of understanding. And then, silence. The flame of knowledge was extinguished, and humanity was plunged into a dark age of lost progress. 3. The flame that failed our story diverges in 48 BC. Julius Caesar is in Alexandria, entangled in a civil war. Historically, his ships are set on fire in the harbor, and the flames spread, engulfing parts of the city, including, according to some accounts, the library. But not in our timeline. In our reality, a sudden change in wind direction pushes the flames away from the shore. Or perhaps, a team of dedicated librarians, foreseeing the danger, had already moved the most critical scrolls, the scientific, medical, and engineering texts, to a secure, stone-walled annex deep within the Mausoleum complex. The fire rages, but the core of humanity's knowledge survives. It's a close call, a single breath of wind that changes the next 2 millennia. The library is saved, and with it, the future. 4. A new world is born. The survival of the library doesn't just prevent a loss, it acts as an accelerator. The knowledge isn't just preserved, it's studied, built upon, and spread by the Roman Empire, which now possesses an unimaginable strategic advantage. First, medicine. The complete works of Hippocrates and other physicians, including detailed anatomical studies forbidden elsewhere in the empire, are now the foundation of Roman medicine. By 200 AD, Roman surgeons are performing complex operations with antiseptic techniques derived from rediscovered plant-based compounds. Average life expectancy, which was around 30 years, begins to climb. By 500 AD, it might have reached 45 or even 50. The devastating plagues that historically crippled the empire are either contained, or their impact is severely lessened by a population that understands germ theory, a concept they reverse-engineered from ancient texts. A healthier, larger population means a more stable and powerful empire. Next, technology. Hero's steam engine is no longer a temple curiosity. Roman engineers, armed with Archimedes' lost treatises on mechanics, see its true potential. By 300 AD, steam-powered pumps are draining mines and providing water to cities. By 400 AD, the first steam-powered ships are sailing the Mediterranean, making trade and military deployment faster than ever imagined. The reliance on slave labor the economic backbone of Rome begins to wane. Why use 1,000 slaves to row a ship when a single steam engine can do it more efficiently? This doesn't create an overnight utopia, but it fundamentally shifts the socio-economic structure, planting the seeds for a world without slavery far earlier. Then comes exploration. The astronomical charts of Hipparchus, combined with the knowledge that the Earth is a sphere, become a Roman state secret. By 600 AD, armed with superior navigation tools, like a refined astrolabe and steam-powered ships that can sail against the wind, Roman explorers don't just hug the coast, they push out into the Atlantic. They aren't searching for India, they are systematically mapping the world they know exists. They reach the Americas, not in 1492, but perhaps as early as 750 AD. The encounter is still brutal, but it's a different kind of encounter. The technological gap is still immense, but the Romans bring with them a more developed philosophy and legal system, a direct, unbroken line from Plato and Aristotle. The spread of knowledge itself accelerates. With the invention of a simplified printing press, a logical next step from Roman coin minting, and the library's mass copying systems, by around 800 AD, knowledge is no longer confined to the elite. The Renaissance doesn't happen in 15th century Italy. It becomes a continuous, rolling wave of discovery that never stopped. By 1000 AD, a world that should have been in the Dark Ages is instead debating heliocentrism, experimenting with electricity, and developing the foundations of calculus. The scientific method isn't rediscovered, it's simply called the method, an unbroken tradition from the halls of Alexandria. 5. Our world in that timeline. So, what would our world look like today, in the 21st century of this alternate timeline? Cities would be grand, blending Greco-Roman architecture with hyper-modern technology. We would likely be an interplanetary species, having established bases on the Moon and Mars centuries ago, propelled by a deeper understanding of physics. Genetic diseases might be a thing of the past. Our understanding of the universe, of consciousness, of our own history, would be unimaginably vast. But it wouldn't be a perfect world. The Roman Empire, or its successor states, might have become a global, unchallengeable power, creating a world with less cultural diversity. The accelerated technological growth could have led to environmental crises far earlier. Progress always comes with a price. And yet, it's hard not to feel a profound sense of loss. We are living in the shadow of a forgotten future. Every scientific breakthrough, every medical cure, every step we take towards the stars is, in a way, a rediscovery. We are slowly, painstakingly rewriting the scrolls that turn to ash. The Great Library of Alexandria is more than a historical tragedy. It's a permanent reminder that knowledge is fragile and that progress is not guaranteed. It teaches us that the most dangerous force in the universe isn't a weapon or a disaster, but the suppression of a single idea. We can never get that world back. But we can honor its memory by relentlessly pursuing knowledge, by questioning everything, and by sharing what we learn. Because every time we do, we are lighting a small candle in the darkness left by that ancient fire. So, I have a question for you. What other historical what-if keeps you up at night? What single event do you believe, if changed, would have created a completely different world? Let me know in the comments below. And if your mind enjoys wandering through these lost corridors of history, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell. Because our next journey will take us to another moment where the future of humanity hung in the balance.